So today I want to talk about the energy that is almost palpable in the air at the moment, and that is all of the energy and talk around domestic violence, specifically towards women. I know that there is plenty of domestic violence that happens towards men as well, but just for today's talk, I'd like to focus on the domestic violence energy that is directed towards women. It's in a lot of my clients' fields at the moment. I'm raking people, the topic is kind of coming up time and time again. And then this morning I had a really interesting meditation, and I just thought it was time to really kind of communicate a little bit more about that. There's two things. I think most women, close to 100% of women, have at some point in their lives experienced some sort of sexual assault or assault towards them by a man or by men, myself included. And anyone that's experienced quite a serious assault will know that the freeze response, so there's 3 stress responses that we can go into, and they're automatic, they're not consciously chosen by us. And that is the fight, where we kind of hit back or we fight against the attack that we're under, or flight, where we run away. Or there is another one called freeze, and freeze is where the body shuts down because it doesn't see how we could possibly win a fight. It doesn't feel or think that we can possibly run away and escape. So it does the very next best thing, which is freeze. And when our body gets to that mode, it's like a deer in headlights. There is literally nothing we can do about it. This is not just for women. Every single human on the planet has this automatic response in their nervous system. I've been in that response a few times where I've completely frozen, and my body at that moment couldn't move. I just couldn't move. No matter what I was thinking, I couldn't move. But there is a thought in my mind that was like, Casey, do something, get away, say something, move, get up and go away, or get away from this person or these people. But in that freeze mode, literally the body takes over and there is nothing you can do. And so I think that anyone who has experienced that freeze mode, that stress response, will understand what I'm talking about and know how terrifying that is. So what can we do about it? I think that as an individual person, the best thing that we can do to effect great amounts of change is to be the change that we want to see in the world. We make up the collective energy. We make up the collective consciousness. So our thoughts and your thoughts and our neighbors' thoughts and our friends and our family and so on, all of our thoughts generate energy. Everything is energy. Our words, our thoughts, our feelings, our physical body, we all put out a certain frequency, a certain vibration. And so together that energy merges into one, and that is called the collective energy or collective consciousness. So when we want to effect big, grand scale change, like what is happening at the moment with lots of conversations and marches and so on in regards to domestic violence, specifically against women, the best thing that we can do is to really evaluate our internal state, really evaluate our own thoughts, really evaluate how we feel about things. Because yes, we can use the anger that we feel, or the frustration, or the resentment, or the whatever other emotions, the hatred, or the desire for revenge, or whatever it might be. We can use that energy to march and to use our voice and to speak up for what we believe in. And absolutely that can be very powerful to effect change, especially if many of us do it on the collective. But I would also urge you to really think about how this energy is impacting you as an individual, because keep in mind that the thoughts that you think and the feelings that you feel emit or exude an energy outwards into the world around you. And that's when other people will pick up on that energy. It's not also just energetic, it's also on a physical level. So the things that we talk about, the feelings that we experience that other people then feel as well, all of those things really, people do pick up on that, and it's kind of like a ripple effect. So how I am in one moment then puts out an energy, a frequency, and then other people will be impacted by that. Doesn't matter, we can protect our energy as much as we can, but at the end of the day, we're all part of the collective. We will all be impacted on some level by the collective energy, and the only way to have effect on that is to change our internal state to the best of what we can. And I think that goes basically hand in hand with doing inner work. So understanding your own thoughts, understanding your own beliefs, understanding your own values, understanding most of all your ancestral patterns. So how you came to be the person that you are today, because a lot of the thoughts, emotions and patterns of behavior were passed down through your generations, through your parents and their parents and their parents and so on. There has been many wars over the generations. And so that has caused a lot of impact on people's psyche, and those thoughts and those patterns, ways of thinking, and therefore their corresponding emotions and feelings, that gets passed down generation to generation. I think even though we have these patterns and thoughts of behavior in our mind and in our experience in our body, even in our cellular memory, it doesn't mean that you are locked into that. You can change. We all have free will, and we all have the ability to choose or to make different decisions. And so I think that if you have noticed that you have become a product of a lot of different, maybe disordered patterns of behaving, or maybe limiting beliefs, or maybe negative thoughts or feelings, know that it doesn't have to continue through you and be passed down again. You have the power and ability to change that. So the first step is becoming aware of what the pattern is, becoming aware of the thoughts and the emotions that are responding to the thoughts. And that then leads to the energy that you're putting out around you. Know that your energy is impacting literally everyone around you. So the best way to effect change is to change your inner state, to then put out a higher frequency that will then be felt and experienced by other people, which can then affect them and hopefully bring them up to a higher frequency as well. Of course, the reverse is true. If you put out a negative frequency, that will also affect other people around you and, drag them down or bring them down. So first, be aware of the patterns and behaviors. The second thing is to understand what the opposite is, or maybe even not the opposite. What's a higher version or a higher experience that can be felt or thought about or learned in that moment in time? So for example, if you have a pattern of scarcity mindset in regards to money, for example, and that's been passed down generation by generation, it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to find someone that has an abundance mindset, and I need to learn the thoughts and patterns that create that kind of energy rather than the same energy that's been passed down to me. Just because you've been passed down all of these particular things, it does not mean that you have to live that way. It does take courage, and it does take a bit of elbow grease to dive into your inner beliefs and thoughts, to work out what your ancestral patterns are, and then to effect change by changing your own thoughts and feelings. And I think that's where, like, a therapist, a coach, Reiki healer, all of those people can assist you to help you change your thoughts and behaviors. I have to say, with Reiki, I love Reiki. It's amazing. It's my passion. And Reiki can be incredible in shifting your energy and lifting your mood and helping you have the ability to see different perspectives. But it's not a cure-all. And I think that what I do in my Reiki sessions is I combine coaching as well as Reiki. So we work on the mindset, we work on those beliefs and patterns of behavior, and we understand ways that we can actually consciously make change, choose different decisions, take different action. And then the Reiki component also helps to shift that energy and help you move along that same path, or a different path, to help you affect higher amounts of change and lifting up to a higher or greater frequency. I actually think we all have a responsibility to take charge of our own emotional state, take charge of our own inner work and our own thoughts, patterns, and feelings. No one can do the work for you. So if you're coming in to see me or any other therapist and just hoping that they will have the magic pill for you, it's not going to happen. You have to meet us halfway. So we can definitely help you as therapists, as healers, as support people, but it does require you to also put in the work as well, and to really have a think about what is going on in your mind, in your body, that is creating the world that we live in today. If this resonates, I'd love to hear from you. Put your comments below. If you'd love to book in for a Reiki healing or a Reiki and coaching healing, the link is in my bio. If you'd like to learn more about Reiki, we have Reiki Level 1 and Reiki Level 2, both coming up in June. And I also have a few other exciting things on the way. So watch this space. For now, have a great day and talk to you soon.